2026 is going to be an awesome year. We got some pretty cool stuff coming up. First off, we got Foundations of Recovery. This is our flagship program. We're starting it in January.
This is for anyone, man, woman, or couple who wants to come and reclaim their heart from shame, trauma, and betrayal. We start off with an education on all sorts of principles, give you the common language. We feed you from a fire hose in terms of all things recovery.
It is such a great start to recovery. And we get at the roots of things, Tyler. This isn't like any other program. Like, this is our healing journey in process, and Foundations is where we begin.
If you look at the value that you're getting there to kick off a good recovery with all of the right education, all of the right language, and a team to get you started while also being directed by Brannon and myself through the whole process, what a deal.
So if you're interested, if you're struggling, if you've been wanting to do something for a long time, jump into this. This only comes around every so often, and we would love to have you there.
Click the link in the description to sign up for it. And to make it even sweeter, we're also including a raffle for a free pass to the Radiant Dawn retreat. Anyone who signs up for Foundations will be added to the raffle for that free Radiant Dawn pass. If you're a man and you sign up for Foundations, your name still gets entered, and you can give that pass away if you win it to any woman that you want to.
So what you're saying, Tyler, is if you sign up and participate in Foundations, you could possibly go to Radiant Dawn for free?
That's exactly what I'm saying, which is crazy because Foundations by itself is already an insane value.
Man, I sound so salesy. But it actually is awesome. So come to Foundations. And even if you don't come to Foundations, sign up for Radiant Dawn. It's beyond therapy, the best healing experiences that you can have.
Click the link below and come join us.
How to find peace no matter what.
Welcome to the Therapy Brothers podcast.
I'm Brannon.
I'm Tyler.
We're brothers.
We're therapists.
And we know recovery.
Bring your stories, your questions, your successes with real recovery.
Hey, Tyler, you ready to have some hard conversations?
Let's do it.
Let the Therapy Brothers podcast begin.
Brannon, how's it going, man?
It's going good.
Yeah?
Yeah, everything's, I used to say, Tyler, all the time until your clients got mad and said I shouldn't anymore. I used to say, does that make sense?
Does that make sense?
You know what my new thing is?
It's going good.
No. It's, Oh, so now when I say it, I'm like, oh, I said it like trying to catch my this time. So I'm do the best I can.
So I'm gonna
do the best you can.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Does that make sense? Yeah, it's so funny. Like when I was looking at it, we're almost to like, how many episodes do we have? A lot now.
Oh, a lot.
we have about as many episodes as we have subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that interesting? So we don't have that many episodes, actually.
That's good. Yeah, that's but yeah, it's funny when you have that many out there and you have to listen to yourself that much, you can really pick yourself apart.
Oh, yeah. I was having my group do an assignment where you have to record yourself. And they were like, "Oh, I hate my voice." And I'm thinking, you have no idea. Like I've been listening to myself for 10 years.
I hate the sound of my voice so much that I can't fathom that we actually have people listen all the time. So
I'm kind of getting used to it now, though.
You kind of get desensitized to it.
Okay,
I'm desensitized to it too now. It's weird. It's taken that long, but I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's my voice.
Yeah. Your voice is beautiful.
Yours is too,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thanks. Does that make sense? Well, so you're going to teach me something today. I'm excited. Teach me something new, a principle that's just been in your mind. I'm pumped for this.
I don't think it's anything new, but it's definitely something that I've been really working on and wrestling with myself. And there's a couple of things that happened this weekend that sort of reinforced those principles. And so I wanted to have a discussion on this because I think it's pertinent to every single one of our listeners.
And every human being.
Yeah. And so it's this idea. It started when I was, I think you turned me on to reading what's his first one? Michael Singer's first book is The Untethered Soul.
Yeah.
And that was my first read. And the first time I read that book, it was kind of like a little bit from where I was coming from. It felt a little bit hard to read because it felt a little woo-woo-ish kind of.
Okay. You got to get a little more hippie like your bro.
Yeah, it's like I can see why Brannon recommended that book.
Yeah, you got to get more hippie like me.
But I powered through it, and I actually got a lot out of it, and I really enjoyed the book once I kind of got through my own judgments on it. And then later on, just a couple of years ago, maybe it was a year and a half ago, he wrote a book about his own experience, and he called it The Surrender Experiment. That's the name of the book. Mm-hmm. But this is like his life story of how his life has unfolded ever since he started practicing some of these principles that are in his books. And then he most recently came out with Living Untethered. So it's a follow-up. And inside Living Untethered, it's all the same kinds of principles that are in the other two books, but he also includes some tools, some practices on how to live untethered. Now, what does it mean to be untethered? It means to be, not attached to certain things. So the principle that we're going to talk about today it's deeply connected to surrender, and it's something called unattachment.
Okay.
All right. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is two things. I'll tell the stories first, and then we'll draw back on them. This weekend, we were getting ready for our Rising Sun retreat that's this Thursday, and so excited about that. And one of our staff members, he's been to like several of our events. We've known him for a long time. He's actually currently in the process of getting his own therapy license to be a therapist as well. He's gotten into a kind of I don't even know if you call it a treatment or not, but there's a modality. It's kind of a Russian practice called stick work. And so he invited our whole staff, the Rising Sun staff, to go do some of this work that has really helped him over at his house this weekend. And we ended up doing some exercises there. And it's hard to put it into words, but basically the practice is really about learning to accept whatever comes, no matter what, without being attached to the would've, should've, could'ves. To not run away, but to also not clinch up and cling and fight. So when you look at like the Buddhist principle, hell, basically, it comes in two forms. It comes in the forms of clinging, where we cling to something, like we can't let it go, like we need to hold on to it no matter what. And in the clinging to something that in essence is not permanent, we actually increase suffering for ourselves. Or the other side of that coin is called aversion, where we actually can't stand the thought of something so much that we have to disappear, we have to run away, we have to reject it, we have to not accept it. And in the rejection itself and in the running away, we actually cause ourselves more suffering because of the meaning we attribute to it and the inability to manage it rather than just let it be what it is. So okay. In a certain sense, it's like, it's kind of like Kung Fu Panda. Like I always get back to Kung Fu Panda, but like Poe, what is Poe's like best secret weapon?
Not aversion, like, yeah, he can just like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, like when Tai Lung like hits him after he figures out who he is, and he's like, "Hey, there is no secret ingredient. Like I'm just me." And like, and like when they're training him, it's not like he goes through and like does the training course perfectly. He like bounces through it. He gets like hit by something there, and he gets bounced through that. He hits some spikes there, and he just kind of bounces off it and ends up at the other side. And then when Tai Lung's punching him, he just kind of like bounces and rolls with it. And in essence, that's what this practice was learn to become like Poe. Just accept it as it is and let it roll that way. Because that's just the reality you're in. So second thing that happened this weekend was it's homecoming weekend. And we had the people who do the fiber come and install fiber into our home. And on Friday, they installed the fiber line, and then they left. And then we found out that the board that they put through to go into our house went through our main water line, and so we ended up without water all day Friday. They had to come back out, and you've seen my house, Brannon. It's like a really steep hill. They had to come out, and they actually had to figure out how to get a backhoe on our side hill and trench the whole thing out and replace the main water line.
Wow.
So they did that Friday with no water. Saturday about noon, no, it's probably like 10 in the morning, we start having backflow come up through the main floor toilet, and it just floods our whole house with sewage. So we have the basement, the main floor, and the upper floor. And what had happened is while they were repairing the water line, they crushed the sewer line, but it didn't build up until later the next day. And then it had built up all the way basically to the top of our house at the top. And now the pressure was so strong that it had blown a seal in our toilet, and it flooded not only the main floor, but then it went through the floor in the toilet and flooded my whole room where I keep all of our like camping stuff, our sleeping bags, everything else.
Cool. That's
fun. So then they had to come out and retrench that same trench that they had just dug up and repair and put in a new sewer line too.
All while your wife was having a party that night at the house, right?
we were supposed to have a baby shower on Friday that had to get moved. And then the next day was homecoming for my two daughters, and we had no plumbing in our house, so we ended up scrambling and trying to figure out a way to get the girls all dolled up and go to their dance, right? This is not the weekend this is not the way I would have wanted the weekend to go.
Really?
And the people are calling up and like, hey, I think we got you taken care of. I'm like, okay. And in the back of my head, I've got all these principles from this book going on. Like, hey, this is just my life. I'm going to roll with it. This is the way it works. Like, okay, fine. Like, I get to learn what it's like to not have plumbing for 2 days. All right, I'll be nice to the guy. And then something else goes wrong, and in my head, I'm just like, oh, like it shouldn't be this way. There's that clinging, like,
yeah,
oh, like, and then I'm like, okay, take a deep breath. Be nice to the guy. Like he doesn't want to be out here on a weekend fixing his problems either, right?
Yeah.
So, so back and forth we go, and the whole weekend, my kids are getting mad. My wife's like, Tyler, what am I going to do? Like it's homecoming, and I'm like, and I keep quoting this thing from the book, and it makes them mad. And it's like, I don't live according to preference anymore. Like, yeah, I would probably choose something different for this weekend, but that's not what we have. This is our weekend. So we get to choose what we want to do with this. Like, but we're not going to cling to preference anymore. We're going to embrace what it's like to not have plumbing for 2 days. And they get all mad.
I'm sure that's very validating to their emotions.
They get all mad about it. And like, yeah, but I don't live according to preference.
The Zen master shows
I
up.
am purely level. Like I'm kind of playing it up too.
I'm enlightened.
Just like, I'm just totally playing it up, like holier than thou almost. Like, yeah, like, hey, this is great. Now we get to understand what it's like to wash 13 sleeping bags in a weekend,
Yeah.
Like, man, this is awesome. And I get to set up a tent and spray it off to make sure that there's no raw sewage on it. And this is awesome. I get to test the waterproofing of the tent, like,
yeah.
And they're getting all mad at it. But so that's where this is all coming from today, Brannon, is that most of us, if you're listening right now, you're probably looking at certain parts of your life that you are either running from. That could be certain current conditions, that could be certain problems in your life, that could be past traumas, or there's certain things that you are clinging to that you really don't have control over whether or not they're going to stay. And either way, that's probably causing more suffering in your life than it needs to.
This is my favorite principle. It really shifts the very outlook and nature of life when you understand this principle. And it goes against a lot of the ways in which we're socialized and the things that we're taught. But it changes everything. Can I tell a couple stories?
Yeah.
Just to go similar stories. I went to Disney World with my daughter it was end of March, I believe. And we get there and Space Mountain is closed down. And we're like, and I love Space Mountain.
That's like one of the best ones.
Yeah, come on. And so they open it up like mid-afternoon, 2 in the afternoon, and everyone is like running toward it to get there. So we run over there, and we get in line, and we weren't the end of the line, but we were pretty close. And it was like a 3-hour and 20-minute wait for Space Mountain.
Jeez.
And I'm like, oh, this sucks. So we wait, and it's a hot day. We're just waiting in line, hanging out, waiting. And we go all the way through the line, we're way outside, and then we get inside, and we go all the way through the line. And we are literally at the gate. We are the next ones to get on, and the ride shuts down. Like it shuts down. I got a picture of me standing at the gate, looking down at the roller coaster, thinking they could have just run it one more time. Like, and my daughter looks at me like not knowing what to do. Like, oh my gosh, we just wasted 3 hours of our time at Disney World, and we only have so much time. And I was walking out with her, and I was like, this is freaking amazing. Like this, and I was actually serious. This is amazing. Think of the party story that we just created. You're not going to remember that ride that well, but you're going to remember this. We just made a huge memory. This is great. I'm so glad it happened. And my daughter's looking at me like, huh? You know? I just did it. I don't have control over whether they're gonna like let us on that thing or not, and they didn't. So that's that. So now, how do we respond? Like, where do we move? How do we flow? Just like Kung Fu Panda, what do we do as a result of that thing happening? You got to be unattached to the outcome.
Yeah, which is hard because we like to set intentions. We actually teach that in our practice. And then in setting our intentions, there's the other side of that coin, which is, and then accept reality on its terms. And that's really, really difficult. And yeah, Brannon, I'm cringing on the inside because I'm having all of my woulds and shoulds come through for Disney World. You just spent way too much money to stand in way too long of a line to experience the one ride you wanted to ride, only to get it shut down in that moment. Like, I'm getting pissed off for you. And I'm getting attached to my own biases toward Disney already. And now that's all coming up inside of me, right?
Yeah. All of the meaning, all of the shoulds that you've attached to this thing start to create some suffering inside of you. And we all do it all the time in our lives. What did you call it? Unattached?
Yeah.
Living unattached.
Mm-hmm.
There's you read Eckhart Tolle, and he's all about this. He's about living in the moment and surrendering to that moment. Honestly, Tyler, you read Michael Singer, Eckhart Tolle, Byron Katie, Buddhism, Jesus. It all comes down to surrender and acceptance of what is. Carol Dweck's book, Growth Mindset, is going from shoulding of what should be in your life to flowing with life as it comes and being grateful for the lessons that you learn. And it's a way different way to live. And I talk as if I'm so good at it. I'm not. I have resistance. I have suffering that I create because I have my shoulds that I live in. And I could give you examples of that. But I love this, Tyler. This is the key to peace in your life.
It's so hard to do it. And part of the reason why, Brannon, is because we have an automatic part of us that just kicks in. We've gone and lived our lives. We've had certain experiences. We've created certain stories about life and how it should be and what it is. And we also have this meter inside of us about fairness and justice that I think leads to us feeling like there's a certain level of deserve or entitlement to our lives as well. And anytime we have that attached to what's going on in our lives, we're setting ourselves up for an increased level of pain and suffering.
Yes.
And the other part of this, the other side to this, is that in getting stuck in the shoulds and shouldn'ts in the wood of could'ves, we actually spend all of our energy raging and being frustrated and bitter and depressed and resentful and maybe even shameful, instead of looking at like the other side of the coin, which is the opportunity that is also there as a result of the thing that you didn't want to have happen.
Yeah, and the
Right.
opportunity when you see it can almost be better and funner than the thing itself.
In the long run, it might even be more productive. Right.
Yeah,
So like,
you cleaned all your hunting gear. That's great.
yeah, whoever
When
wants
was the
to
last
go,
time you did that?
yeah, whoever wants to go camping with me, now is the time because everything is pristine right now.
Yeah.
So now it's like, yeah, everything is in my closet has now gotten the attention that I had neglected on it for so long. Or here's another one that happened just this last week. My youngest daughter is on the soccer team at school. She's a sophomore, but she had been in like the rotation on the varsity team playing about, 20 to 30 minutes a game. And then in the last week, the rotation shrunk and she was the one that got cut off of it. And so now she's not quite getting as much playing time as she would like or as parents we would like. And of course, being completely unbiased, I think my daughter should play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so 100%. But there's the should, right? So here I am sitting up there in the stands watching this unfold, and I'm like, hey, my daughter should probably be in the game right now. And then I caught it. And here's what you're getting at, Brannon, is the autopilot inside of me that I'd never even paused to question was already going into the wood of shoulda, couldas. Like, if that coach would just this, if this, right? And then I caught it. So what was automatic became conscious. And then I sat there in the bleachers and I started to kind of play around with this concept of the truth is that she's not going to get in the game. And because she's not going to get in the game, there has to be some other opportunity that's here. Right? So how is it that I can find so much peace and joy about sitting on hard bleachers watching my daughter sit on the bench? And what I came to is that this is actually really beautiful for my daughter. My daughter gets to learn what it's like to be a supportive teammate, be a part of a team, and learn to be happy for the players that are ahead of her that are getting that playing time. And she's going to learn how to keep a good attitude, and she's going to learn how to have a fire burning inside that she wants to compete while she can also be supportive and understanding and patient. And that's going to be awesome for her.
I love it. I love it.
That's going to be a great lesson for her to learn.
Yeah.
And the minute I could actually start to change that, now I'm sitting there up there in the bleachers going like, and I'm watching her on the end of the bench. She's like leaning out off the end of the bench, trying to catches the coach's eye, it's like, oh man, I can't wait to have a discussion with her after the game tonight. This is going to be so awesome. Like, yeah. And as soon as the game ended, she came running over and she's like furious and like mad and like, Dad, like, and I'm like, hey, Boots, like, let's go for a drive. Like, I had a few thoughts,
Yeah. It's interesting, Tyler, as you're talking these stories, and I'm talking about Disney World. You're talking about your sewage issue and what's going on with Boots. If you take a step back, the things that we're talking about and being like, God, we could have been so pissed about these things. Like, for the most part, these are first world problems. It's like, I had to wait in Disney World for 3 hours, the happiest place on the earth or whatever. Like Boots is there, full fledged. Like, how much does it cost to play soccer? She's around a bunch of healthy kids that eat a lot of food, that like hang out. She's got a coach there. Like, it's like, yeah, she didn't get in the game. If we step back, it's like, do we really have a reason to be suffering and pissed? And the truth is you always can compare one way or the other, but it's not even about that. It's about what's going on inside of you that really matters. There've been people who have lived in poverty, like horrible poverty, who have found ways to learn, to grow, to move forward, and to be resilient to where they started. just because of the what went on inside of them. That's the thing that matters, right?
That's the one place where we have control over the cultivation is inside of our souls and our perspective.
Yeah,
Right. That's the one place we actually maintain power in a certain sense is becoming conscious of what our experience is and then learning to ease ourselves into that consciousness. Right.
exactly.
And you think about it like this is where the stick work came in this weekend. Like there was a place where there was like, they call it stick work for a reason. And at one point we're using a stick and you're actually having some pressure applied to you by this stick. And the natural tendency for any of us is just kind of like, whoa, like I either need to get away from this or I need to get my guard up and tense up. But the place where there was the least amount of suffering was when it was like almost like a wave of energy. It would just impact and flow through you if you could just stay relaxed and just let it be what it was.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what that term, when you get into like mindfulness kinds of terms, there's a term that people say all the time. It's like one of my favorite words. It's called equanimity. Another big word, but equanimity is basically even-mindedness. It's the ability to maintain your state of presence regardless of the surroundings around you. And so it's like you don't get way, way high and like, oh, this is amazing. Like, oh, this is how it should always be. And then you don't get way, way low. It's more of like, yeah, this is blissful and I'll experience this bliss. And oh yeah, this is terrible. And that's part of my life experience. And I'm going to learn what it's like to go through this process. And, either way, I'm gaining experience and I get a chance to make meaning out of this any way that I want to.
yeah.
Right.
Another word is neutrality, equanimity, neutrality. I woke up 5 days ago and I can't walk. I got tendonitis.
Yeah. I asked you how you're doing today and you're like, I'm doing good. And I'm like, are you?
Well, we got this big retreat coming up and I can't walk.
Yeah.
So I get to decide how much I want to fight against this reality, or I get to maybe there's opportunities up there because I can't walk that I get to experience. I'm excited to see what they are. I just out of nowhere, it's like I just can't walk. So God has something for me. I don't know what it is, but God has something for me.
He might want you to go learn what it's like to go to the doctor and see what's wrong.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. I don't know.
That might be one thing.
Maybe I need to learn that lesson. That's funny. Can I share a quote?
Yeah.
But before I do, I wanted to make this point. Tyler, you and I, with business, we're like trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And have we failed at all?
Pretty much every single day.
But you know what? Like, I just got a text from this guy who's going to be our final guy at Rising Sun, and we had more beds this year
than
ever, and it's totally full, and it worked to fill up Rising Sun, and something worked.
All of the failure.
Yeah. So when you say we fail every day, I love this concept in business because the business guys that are most successful are the ones that like they take that blow, they take that hit, and they move with it and they flow with it. And what do they do with it?
They learn.
And you take business. If I failed 9 times and I failed bad, let's say I lost all my money 9 times, and then the 10th time I took all of the lessons, every single lesson that I'd ever learned, and I killed it. I just knew exactly how to move, how to flow, what to do, because I had learned from all of those failures. And let's say I make $1 gazillion. Everyone's going to think I'm a success.
Yeah.
I failed 9 out of 10 times here.
Yeah.
I failed. The key is not getting caught up in that failure and thinking, okay, like that's it. It's over. I'm done. The key is learning. The key is growth. The key is acceptance that you get to experience something. That's the key to it.
I think that's really where I'm hearing you go, Brannon. And this is for us to each individually think about, but maybe there's some merit to considering what is the purpose of life? And if the purpose of life is to simply gain experience and have learning, then whatever goes on in your life
you're
today
resilient to everything.
is fine. Whatever happens today is fine because inevitably you're going to be having experience. You're going to learn and grow as a result if you choose to. And you don't have to suffer.
Not just fine and not just not suffering. You get to resonate in gratitude and acceptance and praise to God with everything that happens to you. So it's not
If you're
just
in that mindset.
Yeah, it's not just neutrality. It's not just like I'm just neutral. It's like, wow, look what God's doing for me and through me. One of my favorite examples of this is Honest Abe. I mean, we could go through the list of his failures, and this episode isn't about failure, but a list of the things that he could have got hung up on and said, I guess
shouldn't be. This is bad. This is wrong.
Guess God's not showing up for me. I guess I'll shut it down. I'll quit. I'll be done. Who changed the world as much as Abe Lincoln? I mean, so he says, I have been driven many times upon my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. My own wisdom and that of all about me seemed insufficient for that day. So notice what he does. He's out there doing his best, and then he turns to God and he hands it over. That's the key right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And but not only handing it over, but then going a step further. So there's a difference between acceptance and willingness. Acceptance is like, okay, this sucks, but I can't change it, so I'll accept it. Willingness is, hey, this is not what I have chosen, but man, there's a lot of opportunity here. Like whatever is in front of me is the opportunity that I now currently have. So I'm going to embrace that with gratitude and with possibility and with like all of this like positivity, optimism, and I'm going to go and like experience that, right? So I think that's part of it. And we did get into like the failures and the woulda, shoulda, couldas, but I also think coming back to like the topic we started with, which was preference, what happens when you stop living only according to preference? And what it does is it cultivates those principles that you're talking about, Brannon, of acceptance, surrender, and I think gratitude. You know, and if you want a small way to practice this is something that I've been doing lately. Only when I'm with my daughters, so I can still seem high and mighty. Is we'll go to a restaurant and they'll look at the menu, and I won't look at my menu. And they'll be like, I want this, or I'm going to have this, or I'm going to do that. And then when the waitress or the server comes up and says, hey, are you guys ready to order? I say yes. And they're like, Dad, you haven't even looked at the menu. And then they do their orders. And then I turn to the server and I say, just give me whatever you think is good today. And they just like...
I'm laughing because I did that last time and it backfired.
But it didn't backfire. It just didn't give you something you'd prefer.
You're right. It gave me an experience.
It gave you the experience of having a meal that you now paid for that you didn't particularly enjoy, and now you get to see what it's like to eat a meal that you paid for that you didn't enjoy.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can be grateful for that you got that experience.
I'm very grateful. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful now.
Yeah. And then you get to practice not clinging to the fact. So like, let's say we have this Mexican place that you and I like to go to when you're in town, and I already know what I get every time there.
And I get it too.
If I get anything but that thing, I'm going to be in the back of my brain going, I should have done this. I should have got that one. I should have got, man, I shouldn't have let the server like decide like, but now I get a chance to practice letting go of all of those shoulds and shouldn'ts. And I get a chance to look down at my new plate of whatever is going to come and just consider what it's like to be in that moment eating that particular thing.
Yeah.
And that becomes my new experience. And I get to determine how much suffering there is in that, or joy, depending on what I choose to focus on.
Yep. Yeah. I love that. Now, there's nothing wrong with going in and saying that, I really like the enchiladas.
That's great. Own that you
really
like it.
The enchiladas. But if you're going after the experience that you just described, then you'd be open to that and say, yeah, just give me whatever. And when you say whatever, it's not about the food. It's about the full experience. Give me the whatever. I'm open to this.
That's the practice, right? No, I only really do that when I'm with my daughters because I know it makes them annoyed. Normally, I just go in and say, "Hey, give me the Tampa Kenya," right?
As you should, because it is good.
And it's okay to, in that experience, even acknowledge that I'm experiencing discomfort or pain or suffering or not liking. But now I'm able to own that that's what my experience is. And that's the key, is that we get to own our experience. That's a way to increase peace in our lives and decrease suffering.
You're kind of saying we get to own it by not owning it. Because we get to accept that we have that experience and let go of the outcome. When we're caught in shoulds, when we're caught in expectations, or we'll call it preference, that's what leads to the resistance, which leads to the lack of feelings of peace. Now, let's come back to your example with your daughter on the bench. Let's say she's on the bench, and let's say the coach just has a personal issue with her and is punishing her to not get in that game. And you are trying to get to this place of like, I'll roll with this. This is wonderful. But you also have it in your control to go talk to that coach and say, what's going on here? I care about my daughter. I would like to address the issue. Should you address the issue?
Possibly, yes. But
why wouldn't you? Shouldn't you sit back and be like, no, I'm enlightened and everything's wonderful?
Because once I'm in reality doesn't mean I still don't have my choices. Right.
Yeah. And what's in your control and what's not.
And when I get into that reality, then what I get to do is I get to own my choices. And that the question I think is to ask is what's effective. And what I mean by effective for the overall goals of my life. Like if it's to gratify my own pride, then I'm going to go talk to him in a certain way. If it's to kind of get some clarity and understanding and maybe be on the same team with him and her so that there can be a mutual understanding, that would be a different reason to go and have that conversation. And maybe I don't have that conversation at all and I coach my daughter on what might be effective in the way she approaches him.
But even if you go do all those things, you might still get a different outcome.
Yes. I can't control what that outcome is going to be.
And that, I think in that moment is when it's like, okay, like I'm open to this.
Right. I'm open. I'm doing whatever is in line with my values in this situation. And because I'm doing that, I can go to bed on a clear conscience, which I believe is maybe the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. Well, you hate injustice. If I know you, Tyler, I know you hate injustice.
It's true.
I can't stand it.
It's so true. I can't tell you how many people have been like talked to in the parking lot for cutting off an old lady and taking her parking stall.
At some point, the world's going to be unjust.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have much control over that.
That's right.
And you hate like personal injustice, like when a person is actually like the professor you had in college, like that it's hard to sit there, right? The reason I bring this up, Tyler, there's certain things that I can't stand. There's certain things that I have a really difficult time coming to a place of equanimity with. For some reason, like I just can't. Like it just irks me, right? But here's the deal. I can turn to those people and say, you should change so that I can be happy. And what am I doing?
You're increasing your suffering. You're kicking against the pricks.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Smashing your head against the same brick wall that's likely not to move.
So then what is my option?
Then your option is to go into yourself and say, how do I increase my joy and decrease my suffering in the reality that I'm in right now?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
It's been a good discussion, Tyler.
Yeah. And the best thing about like this weekend is that you've seen my hill, the side hill. It's just like pure weeds and trash.
Yeah.
I got like 4 dudes in like backhoes to come and flatten out my hillside and take out all the weeds this weekend.
I know. I saw that.
Hey man.
Yeah.
It was, and they did it for free.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the only price that I had to pay was no plumbing for 2 days.
And the smell of shit in your house.
Right, which allowed me to then clean my camping stuff, which needed to be done.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Everything is wonderful. All right, Tyler, thanks for this discussion. If this was helpful, please go subscribe. I was laughing about what you said about how we have almost as many episodes as we have subscribers. You know what's funny, Tyler, is we were talking the other day how some of our old channels are growing faster than the YouTube channel that we're like putting 2 episodes a week on. Crazy. We need help over there, guys. Kickstart our algorithm somehow. I don't know. Go over there, like and subscribe, and I don't know what you need to do.
We don't even know. We are so out there now because
Therapy
honestly,
Brothers on YouTube. Talk about failure.
Yeah. Hey, there's one episode for every one of you right now. So
yes, you can go claim it.
Yeah.
Go do this. Go listen and in the comment section say this is mine.
This one's for me.
Anyways, thank you for being here. Appreciate having you. Until next time, keep on keeping on.